Hello everybody, my name is Solo, welcome back to the channel, and today we are back here on FNTD. But we're not back here to talk about an update. There was an update that came out a little bit ago. It added a new Apex into the summonable units, which I didn't really talk about because I haven't been playing this game that much, to be honest. Mostly due to the fact that a lot of the updates have been turning around and basically being the same thing over and over and over and over again. And even with them switching to the, new schedule every other week, it still felt very much like they, just didn't feel like they were in it anymore, to be honest. And it felt like, they're basically coasting until the new games came out, until the new stuff came out. So yeah, you guys are probably wondering, okay, what made you make a video? Well, so if you guys have been on Roblox, especially recently, there's been a new trend with a lot of games coming out or even being around for a while, and they are basically doing what's known as, or what Pet Sim has done, which is creating sequels. Now, we've already talked about one here on the channel, which was, of course, Pet Star Ultimate, which should be coming out sometime this month, or at least that's what Darted has told me a few times, if everything goes to plan. But another one that we haven't talked about, or that we've also talked about, is BGSI, which is Bubblegum Simulator Infinite, right? Well, leave it to FNTD to be like, hey guys, we want some relevance. Let's release this Discord message, and just so then you guys don't have to do any reading if you're not actually watching the video, I'll read it to you. It says, it's from Hyper. You guys don't know who Hyper is. Hyper is the owner of FNTD and also the owner of Brawl TD, which we haven't talked about in a little bit. But yeah, maybe at some point we will talk about Brawl TD again. But yeah, it says, hey there everyone. Updates will change again. Congratulations, you guys made it about a week or two, or maybe 4 weeks of doing the bi-weekly updates, and you're already changing it again. So it says our dev Gooby decided to leave to focus on himself for now. He was our modeler / UI maker for the game, and he did great. First question: if your game was so popular, why do you have one person doing both modeling and UI? Wouldn't you want to have two separate people so then they're not burning out? That's just my 2 cents on that. We'll always be thankful the time you worked on our game. Currently, we are working on a revamped version of FNTD called FNTD 2. That's right, they're making a sequel. For people that did spend Robux, there will be rewards on FNTD 2, so don't worry about that. Less updates will happen, but we will be working on the new improved version of the tower defense. Higher quality and better gameplay. Thanks again for your time here, Gooby. So that was the first one. Heart for Gooby, fire for FNTD 2. So a couple of things with wording here. So FNTD 2 is not really even a quote-unquote sequel. It's a soft relaunch of the game. And what I mean by this is basically what they're doing is they're taking FNTD and they're just basically saying, hey guys, yeah, we're gonna have you guys restart, because nowhere in that message does it say, hey, you're going to keep any of your units. It just says if you spent money on the game, you'll have rewards in the new one. That's it. There's no, hey, if you have Apexes that you got really lucky in getting, they're gonna carry over. But it also doesn't say anything about the old one getting taken down either, which is continued in the next message where they say FNTD will still get updates and we'll have to find a modeler similar to the current models. FNTD2 will have much higher quality units / zombies. So here's my dilemma, and this is what I think about when I think about this. Hyper has already get this, Hyper has already like made this game and like gone through the ups and downs of the game, right? Where it was popular and then it's kind of falling off more and more. Making a brand new game, or a quote-unquote, as they call it, revamped game, which if this revamped game is basically the same game but new graphics, I don't think anybody's going to play it for the risk of losing all their units. Just going to put that out there right now. Saying it will have better units / zombies, okay. But that's not the problem with current FNTD. The problem with current FNTD, like, it is a small bit of the problem where currently the only units really worth getting are Apexes, or sometimes the, Nightmare / kind of secret sometimes, not really. So the issue at hand here, which they kind of brushed over and aren't really talking about quite yet, is the fact that the game is struggling to retain its player base due to the fact that most of the stuff that has come out with very much feels like the same. Whether it be, the new mode feeling just like a kind of basically different type of just tower defense. And a lot of games usually counter this. Like, for example, AV and those types counter this by like adding in dungeons that have special modifiers, adding extra stuff that is only obtained by doing those certain dungeons, or like having fun with those things, right? And FNTD has done this a little bit, but have like stopped really updating those ideas past their initial integration. And what I mean by that is, like, if we go down here, right, and there's two avenues here. There's Boss Rush and there's Night Shift. Gonna be honest, Night Shift is literally just tower defense, but instead of coins you have power, right? And I haven't played it since the first time I played it, so it might have changed. But Boss Rush was fun for the little bit it was first round, but the issue is they thought, oh, if we just add new maps, that's gonna keep people engaged, which is not really how it works. You gotta add new actual content, actual like reasons to go far in that, besides just this coin system that you guys have been using forever, which, by the way, flip-flopping from regular coins to death coins to souls doesn't help your game. Actually, it makes it worse, because another thing that frustrates a lot of players, including myself, is the management between having souls, having death coins, and having regular coins. That on top of the fact that there is this abysmal stuff where other games can come out with a whole release of 5 units, and FNTD, a game that's been around for a few years now, can barely release 4 units for a new season. And then their season pass has the rest of what should have probably been here, right? But they sure do have a lot of exclusives to sell for real money. It's a mess. And now you're telling me that not only are we still gonna have updates for this game wherever they're gonna put these updates, or have these updates being, because they haven't really announced a new schedule change for updates, right? They said that it's going to be changing, but FNTD2 is also going to be a thing, meaning that even more time is going to go and be separated. And until I see like actual improvements that are gonna help the game, I don't even think I'm really hyped for FNTD2, to be honest. Because again, a lot of the things that frustrate me with this game in particular is acquiring of units sucks, because literally all it is sitting in like endless or something that gives you coins for hours and hours and hours and hours on end, and then summoning on the regular banner and praying that you get an apex, right? There's no actual thing to do that. Whereas like when they added night shift, right, they added stuff to the raid shop which lets you get, you know, these new units, which is like this piranha plush trap, this guy who has an evo. But again, another thing is that they also like put a lot of crutch on apexes. Apexes for this game are the crutch, and it's the same thing that I have a problem with when it comes to SpongeBob Tower Defense, is that when a game has like a secret or a mythic unit, right, you want them to kind of like the secrets to be a little bit better, but not like miles and leaps better, or else your game becomes a find the highest rarity game, and the only people who are going to be having fun are the people who are spending a metric ton of money. And it's pretty sad that like a lot of YouTubers have left, and I've talked about people making the I'm leaving FNTD stuff, right? But the fact of the matter is there's a reason why they're like that, they kept making those videos, is because the game just kept having the same updates that felt exactly the same, and it felt like they put themselves inside of a box that kind of made them comfortable to the point where it felt like the quality of the updates started going down, with a lot of the updates releasing with quite a few bugs and quite a few, you know, just like few actual new units that are even worth getting, like, which is usually gonna be your, you know, your secrets and or your apexes or nightmares. And so there's no real reason to go ahead and like grind out to try to summon on a game when 90% of the units now, like if I go into here, right, and then say I was a new player, right, and I summon 10, right, and I sit there and I go, oh man, look, I got the Fazcade, which got super nerfed. Oh look, I got this sniper. Doesn't matter. Like, one thing I will give to SpongeBob Tower Defense that I can't give to this game is that SpongeBob Tower Defense has a way of making its like lesser units still viable. I mean, that's why like Bangeek, Squidward, and those guys were viable in raids. And that's why like something like the Krusty Krab, which is a rare unit, is still viable in this, whereas like in this game, I would never go in with a reinforced Freddy, which is literally the Evo for the regular Freddy, which, come on, it's the first unit you get. Give it a cool Evo, so then people are like, oh yeah, if I get a shiny version of it, I can make it super cool. Like, that's the stuff I'm talking about. Have it be fun to discover that there are cool things to do with lesser units, without sitting there and just being like, oh hey, yeah, just get every apex and you're done, or like making it about how much money people can spend. And that's my issue. So for anyone who is wondering, oh, are you excited for FNTD2? No, I'm actually pretty scared for it, to be honest with you. Well, yes, I'd love to see them do a graphical upgrade and like, you know, build it on a new foundation of a game. To hear that it's basically the same game with quote unquote better units and zombies makes me wonder exactly how samey it will feel to FNTD1. And that's I guess my issue with all of it. it's also an issue of like, I'm hoping that this isn't their like band-aid solution, because let's be honest, there's a lot of games that do a sequel that end up going back to the original because the sequel fails. Look at Pet Sim 2 as an example. So another thing I want to throw out there is what makes me want to play FNTD 2. Like, what makes me want to get on this new FNTD to grind it unless they start showing me something really cool? Because another thing that draws people to like anime games is like cool like moves, right? Cool like animations, cool looking stuff like that draws a lot of people, because a lot of people like looking at it because it's a visual stimulant, right? It's something people want to look at. But yeah. So, final verdict on how I feel about FNTD 2. I'm scared. I'll have to see like what they show off, what it looks like, how it feels, and I'll give my honest review, because as you guys know, I don't really hold punches unless it's a developer that I know is like not really super into like, or like is like super new to the game, right? So it's just one of those things that we'll have to wait and see what exactly happens with all of it. But the fact that they're like going to FNTD 2, and not only that, they're also like gonna be doing both games at the same time, makes me worry exactly how updates are gonna be as well. Especially with the whole like every other week and still producing the same type, like same size of content. It just makes me wonder how the player base for this game is going to even go. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I figured I'd make a video and talk about it. But if you guys liked the video, as always, hit the like button, comment down below, what do you guys think about FNTD 2? Again, I'm curious, but very, very scared about just how they're even going to handle it. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notifications so that you guys never miss a video. And as always, I hope you guys have a good day. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.